Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Today on 5 at 11. We have a morning full of action-packed news for you.
Yeah, we've got breaking news right now on that deadly plane crash in suburban Lake Worth.
Investigators with the National Transportation Safety Board have been on the scene for only a couple of hours. We want to get out to Charlie Keegan now with the latest.
Okay, good morning. My name's Dan Boggs.
Press conference is getting started right here. Dan Boggs is from the NTSB taking things over.
I'll be acting as investigator in charge during this accident. Before I start, on behalf of the NTSB, I do want to send out our sincere condolences to the victims and families of this tragic event. As some of you know, I just arrived on scene this morning, so I don't have a lot of details to give you, but I will be sharing any factual information that I've gathered.
There is not. Maybe Brian can turn up the volume.
What I have so far is at approximately 5:33 p.m. yesterday, October 13th, Cherokee 180 crashed here at the mobile home park. The aircraft is registered to Flyers Incorporated and operated by a private individual. Right now, preliminary information that I'm going to be able to give you is that we have one fatality from the plane and one fatality that was on the ground. Anything pertaining to the victims will be given to you, names and all, by the medical examiner, and that will be provided by the Palm Beach Medical Examination Group. As the NTSB, we're here, we're wanting to know not just why the accident happened, but we also want to understand what happened, and we're going to prevent it in the future. The NTSB, while we're here on scene, we will not be determining any probable cause, and we're not going to speculate what may have caused the accident. That will come in time. We will be on scene a total of about 2 days. Probably later this afternoon we'll be removing the wreckage, and tomorrow we will finish up and get off scene. One thing I would like to do is I would like to comment on the first responders and the Sheriff's Department that was here and worked very hard throughout the night and helped to secure the scene. Anything pertaining to the accident, we may be able to give another briefing a little bit later on this afternoon if more information comes up. That's all the factual information I have right now, but I will take a few questions. Since we do have a large group, I'm just going to start from the left, and we'll go around twice, and then I'm going to have to go back to work. So, any questions?
What can you tell us preliminary? There's quite a few people that saw this plane head from the west and come to the east and land on that mobile home. What can you tell us?
We do know that the aircraft started out in Orlando, and he was coming down here to Lantana for his flight. We are tracking information. We are talking to find out if he was talking to ATC and any radio communications that have. We do know that there is some security video that has popped up out there. We are reviewing that as we speak. But the flight details, it's probably going to take us a couple days before I know the exact course and route that he was taking.
Do we know where he was going?
He was just coming here to Lantana.
Are we assuming that there were no passengers on board, and were there any maydays before the plane went down?
We do not believe right now there were any passengers, just one pilot on board, and we did not have any radio emergency calls at this time.
No 911 calls or anything?
No.
Were there any additional injuries in addition to the deaths?
There was one fatal on the ground that was in the mobile home trailer that he did hit, so there was a total of 2 fatals, yes.
No other injuries? Is anyone else in the area?
No.
Can you give us the tail number?
I do not have the tail number right now. It's completely engulfed, and that's the information. We have to pull that from the maintenance records.
How many people were involved in the airplane and also on the ground?
Just one person in the plane and one person on the ground.
Any reports about, from sounds that people heard, that maybe an engine went out? Was anything indicating, at least orally, what was described to you?
We are pulling all of the 911 tapes, and I have received a list of the Sheriff's Department of all the witnesses that have it. I have not spoken to them yet. That will probably be after the on-scene. I will call them personally and find out what exactly they heard.
So just to be clear, there were no distress calls as far as you know?
As far as I know, we do not, but we are pulling the radio calls from the airports right now to find out for sure.
As far as the 911 calls, there were several made, correct?
On the ground, yes. Yes, on the ground. Well, hold on. Let me go.
Is it fair to say that The plane is completely burned up and destroyed?
Yes, the plane is destroyed at this point.
In your investigations in the past, you've seen planes that crashed with fuel and without fuel. With the amount of fire and smoke here, does it look like it was lacking fuel?
We're going to pull all the fuel receipts that he may have filled up either in Orlando or here before he took off. I guess it was a round trip. I don't know when he departed, but that's what we're hearing preliminary. So we're going to determine how much fuel was on board by the flight hours that was used. So that will come in time. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, where does this sort of compare to other small plane crashes that you guys see on the news? It's sort of almost miraculous that only one person on the ground is killed, right?
You know, we are fortunate. It just really depends on the area, whether how populated or sparse that it is. I mean, if this would have been in the mountains somewhere, it might have only been one fatality with a pilot. We're very fortunate in a mobile home park that it wasn't larger, and only two homes were affected. We do not know that. All those maintenance records are coming to us over the next 2 days, and that's what we're here to find out, is what is the maintenance history of the plane.
Do you have any information on the pilot's experience?
Not at this time. It was very hard for us to pull this information and find out where we're getting that from. So we're pulling that up I might be able to give that on the next one, but it's hard.
You mentioned one of the big goals for the NTSB is prevention of future accidents. What were the kinds of things you'll be looking for on the scene here that would help with that? I know there's a big conference going on right now nationally about that.
Yes, there is. And actually what we'll be doing, we'll be looking at all the flight characteristics of the plane, whether it's the flight controls, the engine. We'll be looking at the experience of the pilot. We'll be looking at the weather that he may have flown through. All aspects or all phases of the flight will be reviewed. Specifically, we are there to find out if anything was wrong with the airplane, and that's what we'll bring up.
Can you clarify that he crashed into one and then caused fire in the other, or where did he crash into two?
No, he crashed into one, and the fire caused damage on the second one. He did not crash into the second one.
Curiously, the way I understand the plane, does this sound like one of those planes that private pilots can rent so they can go because they don't actually own the plane themselves?
This is one of those planes that can be rented, but this wasn't a rented airplane. This was owned by the Flyers Group, and it was a group of gentlemen that we do believe owned it.
So you know who he is, but you're just not releasing his name?
Yeah, the NTSB doesn't release names. The medical examiner has to do that.
Can you tell us if the pilot is in Orlando? Is that where he's from?
We believe we don't know his exact address yet because we don't pull that. So one more, and then that's all I'm going to take. Yes. We do not know. We don't know how long he's been flying. We don't have any of that information yet. I just got here about 4 hours ago. All right, I just really want to thank you. If there is more information that we do have, I will let our comm center know, and they will reach out to you and let you know if there will be another press conference. Thank you.
So as you heard the representative from the National Transportation Safety Board saying they have only been on the ground in Lake Worth at the Marmac Trailer Park since early this morning, about 7 or 8 they got there. And what they determined that is new information is 2 people are dead, 1 woman on the ground, one the pilot, and that appeared from what their information has given them right now is that was a plane that left from Lantana to Orlando and was completing a round trip when it crashed yesterday at 5:30.
One thing they said they will be looking at, this could be key, they're going to be pulling those fuel receipts to see how much fuel was on that plane.
And again, they just got there just a few hours ago, so this is the very initial part of their investigation. He expects to be there for at least a couple of days working on this investigation. Let's head out to our reporter on the scene, Charlie Keegan, for more information. Charlie?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks, guys. Like you said, a lot under investigation still right now. But earlier today, I spoke with the father of one of the victim who was on the ground when this plane crashed and who passed away. That person's name is Domingo Galicia. Says that his 21-year-old daughter, Banny, was asleep when the plane hit their house just behind me. Now, last night, the father did not sleep at all. He says, when we spoke to him this morning, he says he didn't have much information from investigators. We just got an update ourselves. But he says his daughter, Banny, was very religious, and her mother actually lives in Guatemala, and right now is relying on her faith to get through this tough time, and the father himself is really beside himself right now.
20 minutes before she died, my other daughter was here. They said goodbye to each other, and then she was gone.
So we have heard some kind of reassuring and kind stories coming out of this tragedy. Earlier this morning, there were some folks here in the neighborhood offering to help any way they could, bringing breakfast food for people living here, and also offering up their homes for people to stay if their homes were damaged in this crash. But there's still a lot going on right now, and the father of the victim who was on the ground now says his next goal is to get his daughter's body back to Guatemala to be buried there. So we're still learning more about this whole investigation, and we'll stay on top of it here in suburban Lake Worth. And I'm Charlie Keegan for WPTV News Channel 5.